Welcome. In this video, we will demonstrate how to complete the annual registration and permit renewal for underground storage tanks, or USTs, in Kansas. First, you will need to log into KEIMS and select your site. If you need instructions on linking a site to your account, see our KEIMS overview video. Go to Start a New Form on the left menu and select I want to renew, modify, or terminate an existing permit, license, or registration. Find BER Tank's UST Underground Storage Tank Permit Renewal. There may be multiple versions of this form. Check the version numbers and choose the one with the highest version number. Click Begin, then click Begin Form Entry. Now for some notes on form navigation. The easiest way to get back to your KEIMS profile is to use Exit Form to Home. The system automatically saves your progress each time you change sections, but the best practice is always to save regularly. You can use the outline on the left side to navigate between sections. You can use the Clear Section button to clear your progress in a section, but note that some information is auto-populated, so you may lose more than what you entered. You can mouse over the question mark icon by the title to see instructions for the form. Some sections of the form will show an I symbol when you mouse over them, which explains what you're supposed to enter in that section. The first section is facility information. A lot of this is already populated from your registration, including the name, ID number, and street and mailing addresses. Some information, such as facility address and facility mailing address, cannot be changed in KEIMS. If you need to change any of this information, you will need to contact KDHE. Email kdhe.tankinfo@ks.gov and include your owner ID and the facility ID, as well as any information you would like to change. If the facility contact is a user linked to the site in KEIMS, then you can select them from the drop-down menu to autofill. Otherwise, you will need to manually enter that information. Next is tank owner information. Again, this is auto-populated from your registration, except for the tank owner contact, which can be autofilled if the tank owner is a contact linked to the site in KEIMS, like in facility information. Note that you can check whether you've entered a valid address by clicking Validate Address. Next is 24-hour emergency contact, which can also be autofilled. If you need to list an additional phone number, click Add Phone. The next sections are tank information and line information. These sections are autofilled based on your registration. Though there is a clear button, using this can erase important information about your tanks and lines, including upgrade and repair information. If they need to be updated or corrected, you'll need to contact KDHE at kdhe.tankinfo@ks.gov and include your owner ID and the facility ID, as well as any information you would like to change. Next to both of these sections in the menu on the left, you'll see a number, in this case 2. That's the number of tanks or lines on your permit. They're also numbered on the renewal form. Only one will be expanded at a time. To switch to a different one, click its number above or below the one currently showing. Next, we move into permitting items. Some general notes on these. All permitting items cover the previous calendar year. So if you're renewing your permit in 2022, you need to submit your records for the 2021 calendar year. The forms you need to fill out are available for download in KEIMS, though keep in mind that these forms need to be completed over the course of a calendar year. Some of these requirements are fairly general. For instance, there are several types of monthly monitoring, and you're not doing them all. KEIMS has information specific to your site in each of these sections to remind you which forms apply to your site. The monthly monitoring section has an explanation of the different monitoring methods, and if you scroll to the bottom, you will find instructions on printing reports from common models of ATGs. You will need to upload both your monthly monitoring annual summary forms and your December monthly monitoring forms. This section doesn't apply to temporarily out-of-service tanks. Next is inventory control. This is not needed for temporarily out-of-service tanks, used oil, or standby tanks. Again, you will need to upload your annual summary and your December 30-day inventory record. Both forms are available within the renewal form, as well as instructions on doing inventory control. Next is the walkthrough checklist, which must be submitted for all registered tanks. Again, this can be downloaded from KEIMS. You will need to submit a copy of your completed checklist for the previous calendar year. The next section is temporarily out of service, if applicable. If you have a temporarily out of service tank, you will need to complete and upload the UST 023 Notification of Temporarily Out of Service form, which is available for download within the permit renewal form. Otherwise, skip this section. Next is cathodic protection. If you have an impressed current system, you will need to upload your rectifier log summary for the previous calendar year. If you do not have an impressed current system, you will skip this step. Again, KEIMS has information on what kind of cathodic protection you use, so you can check this section to see if this applies to you. The final permitting item section is miscellaneous. This is where you would attach documentation of any testing done to your system, financial responsibility, or AB operator certifications. Next is fees, which will show your total fees for the renewal. The permitting fee is $25 per tank if renewed by April 30th. If the permit is renewed after April 30th, but before August 1st, a late fee of $50 per tank will be applied, and an additional late fee of $100 per tank will be applied if the permit is renewed on or after August 1st. Next, you will review your renewal before submitting. The form will only flag a few pieces of basic information as required, so make sure to check your renewal form against your requirements and confirm that all your required documents are attached. Next is certify and submit. You will certify that the information provided is true and correct to the best of your knowledge by submitting your renewal. If you are missing anything that is marked as required, it will display a message stating that the form is incomplete and you will not be allowed to submit. You can also save and exit from here and come back to the form later. Just make sure to submit by April 30th. Once you submit, the system will prompt you to pay the fee on your permit. You can either choose to pay online or by mail. You can pay the fee immediately, or you can pay it later in the financials section. Mouse over the renewal form and click Open. Then scroll down to find Pay Online and Pay by Mail. Once you have paid, you have completed your renewal. KDHE will process your renewal and contact you if there are any issues. When your permit is approved, you'll receive a notice from KEIMS that your permit status has been updated to completed. At that point, you can go to your site in KEIMS and print your permit, which is found in the Documents tab for the corresponding facility.